I guess I'm going to ask you again about Cameroon and this the writer that still is in jail. One charge was dropped. He remains in. It was said you said yesterday you were waiting to hear back from DPA. Do you have something?
I am, and in fact, while we've been talking over this briefing, I have the answer that I'd wanted, which is the following. We call on national authorities to follow due process when dealing with all detainees and to abide by international human rights conventions to which Cameroon is a party. We have consistently affirmed that the best way to address the situation in the Anglophone regions is through a genuine and inclusive dialogue with all relevant stakeholders. We reiterate our readiness to assist national appeasement efforts in the search for a lasting, peaceful solution to the crisis. Special Representative Francois Lounceny Fall will brief the Security Council on the situation in the Central Africa sub-region, including in Cameroon, on the 13th of December, which I believe is tomorrow.
Sure. No, thanks a lot. And I guess I want to understand the first line of that. The writer, Mr. Patrice Nganang, was basically arrested after he wrote in Jeune Afrique about this topic. Is it by due process? They claim it's due process to lock somebody up for insulting or the president.
Well, I said to follow due process and to abide by international human rights conventions to which Cameroon is a party.
And just finally, do you know if is the Secretary General going to meet with Paul Biya in Paris?
No, he's not scheduled to.
Okay.
Yes.
In the lead up to this One Planet summit in Paris, the President of Cameroon, Paul Biya, has said that he's received invitations to speak there or meet there with President Macron and António Guterres. That's what he says. So I guess what I wanted to know is if that's true, what I've asked you last week and Stéphane about for example, the case of Patrice Nganang, who's now it's become a pretty well-covered case with human rights groups saying, how could this writer and professor who was reporting on the Anglophone areas be detained by the government? What would be, can you confirm that António Guterres has asked to meet with Paul Biya? And if so, would this issue or the Anglophone issue generally be on the agenda?
Well, as is normally the case when the Secretary General travels, if he holds meetings with other world leaders, we'll try to get the readouts of them. Stéphane's there with the Secretary General, and we'll be in touch with him to make sure that any of these meetings happen, and we'll try to provide details.